this short video training module on consulting career paths. What we're going to do here today is cover 6 typical or popular consulting career path options, talk about each for just a minute or two, and kind of explain, the good and bad things about each of them. A few of these are going to be obvious, a few you've probably heard of, and hopefully 1 or 2 of them come off as relatively unique and help you get kind of brainstorming about the career path you want to take while working as a consultant. So the first option is that lots of people start working for a consulting firm, they do well there, but after just 2, 3, 4 years, they find that every time they consult at a corporation, they're getting job offers. And it's only a matter of time for them that they make that jump over to the corporate world from consulting. Regardless of how they got into consulting, some people can get burnt out on it because there can be a lot of pressure from clients to perform. There can be a lot of travel involved. Sometimes you're working long hours, even though you're paid well. Maybe the life balance is sometimes out of order in some consulting firms. Regardless of the reason why you'd want to go work for a corporation instead of consulting, it does happen quite often. And that's because large corporations or mid-sized corporations that can often hire and afford to hire consultants, they are full of bureaucracy and it's hard to get things done, and people there aren't formally trained in project management. They're not good at being project leaders. They don't have a lot of experience in managing teams and getting a lot done in a short amount of time, and that's what consultants are paid to do. Sometimes the reason that someone's able to get so much done is because they are the external consultant and they avoid the internal politics. Other times they're just great project managers and great at getting things done. In any case, lots of times consultants get job offers from their clients. It's happened to me on several occasions, including the first consulting project I was ever on. I was asked to join that corporation as an employee, and it's something that's very common. It'll definitely happen to you within your consulting career if it hasn't already, and it's definitely one option for you. Another option is to work inside of a consulting firm, maybe for 7, 10, 12 plus years. Sometimes it might take 15 or 20 years, and then become a partner in that consulting firm. The other variation of this path is to work in a consulting firm for 12 or 15 years and go up for partner. If they don't give you partner within that consulting firm, you could go to a competing consulting firm and potentially get partner there. The larger the consulting firm, typically the longer they'll make you work there before they offer you partner. The harder it is to make partner, but the more money you'll make if you're made partner of the consulting firm. And generally, if you're made a partner, that means you get a percentage of the profits within your business unit, or within your service line, or within the overall consulting firm, or some combination of those 3 at the end of the year. Lots of people go into consulting with the hope of becoming partner, but they find that over time they'd rather work for a corporation, they'd rather not travel as much, or they'd rather start their own consulting firm, etc. Another option is going from being a consultant for somebody else's consulting firm and being an entrepreneur. This can happen in a few ways. You could be an entrepreneur and starting your own consulting firm, which may have already happened to you. In that case, you're basically taking the skills you've learned while working in a mid to large consulting firm, and maybe if you charge $200 an hour for your time, you might only see $120 an hour of that. Your employer might keep $80 an hour. If you start your own consulting firm, you could charge $140 an hour, get to keep the whole $140, besides taxes obviously and expenses. And the extra benefit is you control your travel schedule, you control your rates, you control what days of the week you work, you control what weeks you get off, you control the benefit package you put together for your own business. There's a lot more autonomy in running your own business, so even if your income doesn't go up or double, you might get a better lifestyle balance by running your own consulting firm if you can keep afloat and get enough business coming in. Other consultants I've seen, being experts in an industry and consulting with so many clients, they see some hidden needs for products and services of these big corporations, maybe a document management process or a knowledge management process or some new sustainability system to be put in place. And they see some big opportunity to launch a product or service in that area, so they leave consulting completely and they become an entrepreneur by starting that other business. And because consultants are typically pretty well paid and compensated, many can save up enough money to launch that new business and try it out for a few years. And if it doesn't work, many of them will go back to consulting later. Another career path for consultants, number 4 here, is to go from consulting full-time to contracting I call it contracting instead of consulting, because consulting I think of more on-site engagements as well as virtual work being done, or contracting, you could call yourself a consultant, but I think more of somebody working from home on projects. They're still using their expertise, they still are a consultant, but it's working more part-time on projects. You could go this route from consulting to contracting if you are retiring. Maybe you have sold a business in the past and you just want to stay relevant in the field and share your expertise. So you could go this way. Maybe you just had a child and you want to work part-time instead of full-time and you don't want to travel at all. This is a popular career path for consultants because it's a very good lifestyle design. If you can charge enough money to live off of working 15 or 20 hours a week, that can be potentially more enjoyable than traveling 20 hours a week on top of working 40 hours a week. So many people do take that route. The next path is basically going from being a consultant to being on the board of advisors of a company or investment fund of some type. So if you're a consultant in, say, risk management or process improvement, and you've been a consultant for 5, 10, 15 years, lots of people would value your input in being on their advisory board. Some small companies and nonprofits might pay nothing to be on their advisory board, and they'll actually ask you to invest money in their nonprofit or ask you to invest money in their company. Other companies, typically mid to large size, will pay for you to be on their advisory board. It could be $5,000 a year, $20,000 a year, $40,000 a year. It really depends on how large the company is and what time commitments are involved. Are they monthly meetings, quarterly? How much work is going to be needed by you? And so this is an important area to consider. I think most people don't even consider being on the board of advisors of companies, but they need strong boards that are independent and have unique ideas, and consultants often have enough expertise that can serve as great board of advisory members. And the last tip here for career paths is that many people are happy being a consultant, and whether they end up consulting 3 days a week at 12 hours a day, or 4 days a week at 10 hours a day, or just work a full-time normal consulting schedule, one career path is just to stick to consulting. Many people don't want to be a partner, they don't want to be a manager of teams, they don't want to manage new clients. They just want to act as a consultant, go in there, get paid their fair wage, make a decent amount of compensation, get paid well, and they just enjoy that level of difficulty and challenge, and they like the steadiness of the job and knowing that they're in demand and sharing their knowledge with others. So one career path not to forget is just that you can stay as a consultant. You don't have to, you don't have to try to take it to that next level of working for a large corporation or being a partner. There's nothing wrong with just staying as a successful business consultant. So I hope you found these consulting career path options useful. Hopefully at least one or two of them are things you hadn't considered, or it helps further reinforce your own ideas about where you're going as a business consultant. Thank you for joining us. This is businesstraining.com, where you can earn master's level qualifications to help you make more money.